Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Dadbod to Daddy training vlog, and today was chest and tricep day. I am down to 210 pounds. This is the lightest I have weighed in many years other than water cuts for powerlifting meets. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. My bench strength felt pretty good. I haven't lost any bench strength on this particular section of the cut since I went back lower carbs and dropped over 10 pounds of water again. So pretty happy with that. Although I did see a little bit of strength loss on the incline. And today I went a little heavier. I didn't do the really lightweight, so I did sixes with 275. Again, the waistline is definitely starting to tighten up. Again, I still have the loose skin from the previous 100 pounds of fat loss before, but I feel like it's slowly getting tighter still. So I'm just going to keep cutting. For those curious, and we'll get into the training in a bit, I've had people say, well, how light are you going to go? I'm like, I'm going to go down to 200 pounds and we're going to assess. Now, keep in mind, when I was carbing up again, eating higher carbs, even though I was still in a small deficit, I was over 220 again, pushed me back up. So I'm down to 210 now. So about 10 more pounds, which I think we can pull off this summer, I'm going to assess. But, we may get to a point to where I drop down under 200 and I may stay there, because I think just for business purposes, health purposes, everything else, I do need to get very lean, and I need to stay lean. And we're getting decently lean at this point. Obviously, I'm probably not necessarily going to get bodybuilder contest ripped. I don't think that's necessary. But I do need to get leaner just in general for aesthetics and keep bringing up those weak points. Things like side delts, triceps, rear delts. But the benching went good. Those sets all felt good. I want to note, when people do note previous higher strength levels, keep in mind cutting, but number two, everything is ultra wide and flat back. Notice how wide I'm gripping this stuff. Same thing on the incline bench. I was hoping I'd get 5s or 6s with this today, but I guess with the weight loss, the incline is getting a hair weaker, but I'm also gripping it really wide. And those triples felt heavy. Obviously, I probably had a couple more reps in the tank, but it just felt heavy, and I felt like I got a good stimulus. But the thing is, my upper chest got lit by this. And I think this is a take-home when it comes to the incline. That ultra-wide grip, especially when I touch it to my clavicle. Because if people are curious what I'm touching that bar to my collarbone. The stretch on my pecs and my upper chest is like something I've never felt before. So I feel like that's going to continue to bring up that whole upper chest. I think combining that with that wide grip overhead pressing on shoulder day is going to continue to refine that area. That's a hard area for a lot of guys to develop. And even when they try to do things like the incline bench, I feel like they fall short with what they do. You'll see a lot of too much close gripping, too many guys not touching, things like that. Whereas in doing it like this and touching that clavicle, oh man, it almost feels like it's going to rip my pec off the bone. But I don't mean on the edges where guys are tearing it. I'm talking through that whole upper shelf. So it's a good thing. We need to continue to develop that. I may prioritize incline, right? If it continues to do that, I may start working to where I do incline and then flat. I'm just worried the lower pecs might not be optimal there, but it's worth something to consider. So I did 3 sets of each of those, and I did my incline extensions. These are feeling good. I only increased this weight recently because I was getting too many reps lighter, and I couldn't quite get my 3x10 last time. I got 9 and then failed on the last set. I managed to get 3x10 with this weight this time. All right, so we may start micro loading it up a little more in spite of cutting. But again, triceps felt really lit up, and again, barring that little bit of still the loose skin there, I feel like everything's looking tighter. I think we can tell at these angles, body fat's definitely coming down. Right? Body fat's definitely coming down, so I'm happy with that. But again, I'm trying to keep the volumes pretty reasonable because I train 5 days a week. I'm on lower carbs. I'm cutting. For those curious about lower carbs, I'm not doing tons of red meat. In fact, I eat almost none. I haven't even had any lately. It's mostly healthy fats, meaning peanut butter, natural peanut butter, walnuts, pecans, almonds. Those are staples for me. Okay. In fact, that's probably over half of my calories come from those foods. And then everything outside of that is Greek yogurt, Fairlife type milks, chicken breast. Pretty much my go-tos, and then just vegetables. Broccoli being a staple. So yeah, with the lower carbs, with being in a good deficit, I'm trying to keep the volumes real moderated. So really, it was 6 main sets of pressing, 3 sets of triceps, and I did an all-out set of pullovers. I'm like, I'm getting really good at the rep work on these, and I don't want to try to do so many sets. I'm like, let me just see how many reps I can get if I just push this and don't leave anything and just let it burn. And I ended up getting 55. Remember when I was struggling to get 10s with this 45? Right? 55 reps. So this is where my real rep work is, because the other stuff people are like, man, it was a bunch of 3 to 6s. It was. But then we did 10s for the triceps. This gives me a really, really serious pump and stretch in my chest. When I go high reps on this, I feel the chest a lot. It feels like more tricep when I go really heavy. So, but here's the thing, if I just do an all-out set like this, I'm shocked how many reps I can get. It's kind of like the sissy squats on last leg day. I did back squats, I did front squats, and then I did that set of sissy squats. And I'm like, I wonder what happens if I just take this weight and just go and go and go. Right? Until I feel like I may fail. And I'm, again, surprised how many reps I can get on some of this stuff. And this exercise in particular. So it's kind of like I need to add more weight again with this. Right? Might be time to add more weight. Or it might be time to go over to a barbell. Because realistically, the 2 plates is hard. So when I grab this with 2 plates, it really is a fight to grip it, even though I can get 12s. But what can I get now? It's probably way higher. Kind of one of those cases where I need to set up a barbell. But again, that's its own balancing act, isn't it? You got to get locked in because of the weight. But it might be a point where I need to put something like 135 on the bar. Because honestly, if I can get 55 with this plate, we can probably get 10 plus reps with that. And I've seen some guys, people are like, that's crazy for a pullover. Now I've seen a guy, pretty jacked guy, doing reps with 225 on a barbell on a pullover. So is it really that extreme? Well, actually, I think the guy benches like 500. But, I digress. This guy's doing it. And it's such a great exercise for overall aesthetics. Like even here, I feel like as I'm coming around the corner and we see this, it's starting to really show, all the bodybuilding type work, all this old school bodybuilding work, because I'm starting to kind of get that look as I get leaner, right? Slowly getting there. And then we finish up with a set of hanging leg raises. And pretty happy with today's workout. I'm happy with being down to 210, and we're going to keep going. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.